Professor Gurmeet Singh ji, Dr. Nandakishore ji, Dr. Richa Tiwari ji, and friends. The topic of today's seminar is both very important and very timely. The reason is, the first, because we all deeply love our motherland and we would like to work to building a new India. The second reason is what is happening in our country today. What is the present situation? And therefore, what we are dreaming, aspiring is extremely important today. If we are aspiring to build a new India, really we are aspiring to build a new future. But it does not mean that to be inspired, we have to build the past again. It is not a question of going back to the past. It is going to understand the past and the present. What is happening, what happened, and drawing the inspiration for the future. We cannot neglect the past and the present if we want to build the future. Why was it that India was so great in every field in the past? In any field you name it, there India was. And I would like to quote here a few words from Sri Aurobindo. Indian civilization has been the form and the expression of a culture as great as any of the historic civilizations of mankind. It has been great in religion, great in philosophy, great in science, great in thought of many kinds, great in literature, art and poetry, great in the organization of society and politics, great in the crafts, trade and commerce. I don't know whether anything has been left out of this list. And it is true that the Indian civilization has been right at the top in each of these fields. But then, if India was a leader in the past in all these fields, and the world came to India to learn, to sit at her feet, and you have all the stories of the travelers coming to India through the centuries. And yet, how little of it all of us here and around know about this. We say India was great, India was great, India was great. But how little do we really know what was it that India did in science, in astronomy, in mathematics, in the arts, in politics, in statesmanship. And how little of it do we teach our children in the schools and the colleges. And that is why one of the things for this year is I would invite the Pondicherry University, that Sri Aurobindo Society and Pondicherry University carries out an authentic research, a proper research in every field, and prepares resource material which is engaging, interesting, which we take to the schools and colleges, in the universities, in the IITs, in the IIMs, in the centers of excellence all over India. And perhaps even globally, there is a search for this thing. And so this is an occasion really to think about that, how we can work together. And it can't be false claims. There's a lot of false claims moving around. It has to be true, authentic, unquestionable. And the real facts are much greater than the false claims. And this is where I would like how Sri Aurobindo Society and Pondicherry University can work together to fill this big void which is there in our education. But the question arises, if India was so great, why was there this big decline which took place? Where are we today in the world? Today is not the day to analyze those issues or to go in depth, but they need to be analyzed. We need to go into the depths to understand what really happened. Sri Aurobindo has given such a clear direction of what India should be doing in the future, what we should be doing in the future, that I will not try to explain or to put it in my words. I think I can do nothing better to quote extensively from his own inspiring and beautiful words what he has said on these issues. The first question we have to ask ourselves is, how best can India develop herself? No doubt by being herself. You cannot develop by being someone else. But then, what does this mean? Here are the words of Sri Aurobindo. India can best develop herself and serve humanity by being herself and following the law of her own nature. This does not mean as some narrowly, this is very important. Many people talk that India should be herself, but then that becomes a narrow sense. See what Shri Aurobindo says. This does not mean, as some narrowly and blindly suppose, the rejection of everything new that comes to us in the stream of time or happens to have been first developed or powerfully expressed by the West. Such an attitude would be intellectually absurd, physically impossible, and above all unspiritual. Look at the words. Such an attitude would be intellectually absurd, physically impossible, and above all unspiritual. True spirituality rejects no new light, no added means or materials of our human self-development. It means simply to keep our center, our essential way of being, our inborn nature, and assimilate to it all we receive, and evolve out of it all we do and create. And if this is the truth, what is it that makes India special? What is it that distinguishes it from everyone else? We all say it is her spirituality. But very often we do not understand what we mean by true spirituality. This is what Sri Aurobindo says. We define spirituality as the attempt to know and live in the highest self, the divine, the all-embracing unity, and to raise life in all its parts to the divinest possible values. The way forward is to return to the age-long ideal of India in its full amplitude. This was the ideal of ancient India, and the way forward is to go back to that ideal and give it a still wider scope to make in very truth all the life of the nation a spiritual search and expression. What a beautiful thing. To make all the life of the nation this spiritual search and expression. We must resume India's great interrupted endeavor. What we had started, we have to again resume and continue. We must take up boldly and execute thoroughly in the individual and in the society, in the spiritual and in the mundane, in philosophy and religion, in art and literature, in thought, in political and economic and social formulation, the full and unlimited sense of our highest spirit and knowledge. We have here 3 senior professors from the Pondicherry University in the field of education, political science, international relations, all of it. How do we base them on the true spiritual tradition of India? This is the search with which we have to be together, how we can take it forward. India is a chosen country which has something unique to give, a role to play in the world. And this is what Sri Aurobindo says. India can, if she will, give a new and decisive turn to the problems over which all mankind is laboring and stumbling. The problems with which the whole of humankind, the whole world is afflicted, India can give it a new direction and a new meaning. Whether she will rise or not to the height of her opportunity in the Renaissance which is coming upon her is the question of her destiny. India, look at these words. India is the guru of the nations, the physician of the human soul, in its profounder maladies. Wherever we are afflicted by the deep psychological maladies of all, India is the physician which heals. She is destined once more to new mold the life of the world and restore the peace of the human spirit. No doubt this is a challenging, difficult task. It is not going to be easy. In what spirit shall we take it? Again, I quote from Sri Aurobindo. This is the faith with which we will take up this work and will persist in it. Refusing to be discouraged by difficulties, however immense and apparently insuperable. We believe that God is with us, and in that faith we shall conquer. We believe that God is with us, and in that faith we shall conquer. We believe that humanity needs us. India is rising not for herself alone, but for the sake of humanity. And it is the love and service of humanity, of our country, that will purify our heart and inspire our action in the struggle. This is the spirit in which we have to go forward. So, I would like to give a slightly different perspective to our seminar. This seminar is not meant to be an event. This is not meant to be something that after the seminar we are at the same point where we were when we started the seminar. Then it will not really serve its purpose. Rather, it should be the starting point for us for something new that we do together. And it is there that we invite Shobit, the Pondicherry University, to join us, hold hand in hand, so that we work together concretely with an action plan for the building of a new India in every field. And Pondicherry University is a premier institution in the country. The number of students, the departments, the faculty from all over India are here. And there is no area which needs to be left out. We can work together in every field, in every activity, with this deeper spiritual approach to create actively, not just put thought level, not just to be thought leaders, but also leaders in action to bring about a change. In Pondicherry, in India, this is the invitation we give to the Pondicherry University, that let us work together to build that golden Pondicherry which can be a model for India. Let us work for India. Let us be a model so other universities, other IITs, IIMs, centers of excellence, see this is what can be done, and we help them also to come up to that level which should be there. So we will be really happy if this can be the starting point of this type of an endeavor. There has to be naturally a special focus on the youth, and very much specially on the girls. They have been too long kept in the background. They are coming up, but much more needs to be done. So there has to be a conscious focus on the youth, especially the girls, and also both on the urban and the rural areas. How do they get inspired? How do they get involved in the building of this new India for which this seminar is being organized? So we invite you all, those who are here, your friends, your colleagues, your family members, everyone, let us come together and with the faith in the divine, let us work together to build a new India. Thank you.